Hey guys, it is Rico, welcome back to another video. Welcome to a show review where today I watched The Witcher on Netflix and I loved it. Apparently this is a very unpopular opinion because a lot of people do not like the show, and although I personally think it is because it's not the Geralt that everyone is used to, I can see why people might not like the show's content because it is not perfect. This comes into play a lot into Season 2, but there is more on that later. First, I want to talk about the general experience I had and enjoyed with the show, without going into major detail. The acting in the show was great, the characters were written perfectly, except Yennefer. The show was gorgeous, some shots of cinematography taking my breath away. The soundtrack, music, incredible. The setting, the costumes, all of that was just amazing in the show. And that is enough to check out the show even if you don't know what The Witcher even is. If that is the case, however, the show tells the story of the books really well, in my opinion. Apparently another bad one. It's hard to start giving the show some more positive feedback and unfortunately negative feedback without breaking it down by season, so alas, let's continue further. The better season of the two. This season had a lot of Geralt going around and slaying beasts whilst looking for Ciri, Geralt's destiny, and that is what I was watching the show for, Geralt being a badass and slaying monsters. The show delivers with incredible creatures and effects to feast your eyes on. The show isn't just Geralt killing stuff, however, which at first I thought would take away from the element, and yes, it may have when showing us Yennefer's story, but besides that, it was fine. The story felt belonging throughout, the chemistry between the characters felt real, written well enough for me to care about them, except Yennefer. Wondering what I'm talking about when referencing the Yennefer is horrible in this show, which may seem unexpected because she is one of the best characters in the game, but as previously mentioned, this is a show about the books. For the first couple of episodes, the in-between of fillers for Geralt's slaying of the creatures is Yennefer's backstory. How she became a witch, how she got to Paris, and oh god, it is bad. Long, boring scenes, a depressingly written storyline followed with gratuitous nudity. It just didn't sit right with me. However, as the season continues, Yennefer and her story become less bad in the boring way. I want to take this opportunity to talk about episode 6. Slight spoilers, kind of. Not really. Kind of. Anyway, I was so excited for this episode. I wouldn't consider myself a fan of fantasy, but on the rare occasion that it isn't focused on just dragons and instead develops a real story, that's what gets me to stick around. Hence why I'm in love with the show, because I'm in love with the characters and invested in story. Anyway, this was the episode that we could see Geralt take on a dragon, and I was hyped, excited to see what the show had done with the dragons, and it had a really good start. My personal favorite opening to an episode, the soundtrack at its best, a band of men to fight this dragon, more character development, it seemed perfect. Come time to the big reveal though, the dragon looked like Dookie slept the whole time, and then Geralt decided to protect the beast. Yes, more stuff happened. If you've seen the episode and the word gold rings a bell in your head, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yes, I found that to be the most annoying thing of the episode, but I'm trying to keep this review as spoiler-free as possible because I do not want an hour-long video. That is my honest review of Season 1. Moving on. This is the season where a lot of people stopped watching, and this is where the show gets most of its hate from. And although this is a massive decline from the first incredible season, I don't think it deserves all this hate, because it's still a very strong season. I will start with the goods of the show, because I complain about more without heavy spoilers, so this season kept its incredible cinematography, acting, and I think the creatures are better in this season. Geralt is still being a badass now with the accompaniment of and possible father responsibility of Ciri, Geralt's destiny. The first episode of this season was definitely my favourite, mainly because I found no flaws, everything worked well, all the characters were written extremely well, the setting was so beautiful, imagine in a snowy forest, and there was a horror element type creature fight. Beautiful. Yeah, this is not what the rest of the season is like. Geralt takes Ciri to his Witcher pals, where Ciri starts to train to be on herself, which I love. The development in Ciri's story, I am excited for her future. Amongst this, Geralt slaying more creatures. What goes wrong? Spoilers, Yennefer is a bitch. There's way more to it, but, you know, spoiler free. After the first few episodes, the show's material really starts to drag with dullness and stupidity, mainly because the main villain of the season is a tree. I'm not kidding. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes, I know there is another villain, but spoilers. But besides this, it is still a breathtakingly beautiful show with great acting and characters. So with that, I still don't know why people are depressed about this season. Well, with all of that, I am excited to see more from the show. Blood and Origins doesn't really look that appealing to me, besides yet again the cinematography and setting. Season 3 and 4 I'm really excited for, hopefully seeing more Siri, my favourite character in the show. Yes, hate me if you want. But season 4, it's just it ain't gonna be the same without Superman, so... But you can't have everything, so that was my honest review for The Witcher on Netflix, and I am giving this a 7 out of 10. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, subscribe, and until then, goodbye.